Hey everyone, and welcome back. Shane here. In today's installment of the Beginner's Guitar Guide, we're going to be looking at the song Little Wing by Jimi Hendrix, one of my all-time favorites. I'll show you the chords, the progression, and even get you started building your own solo. Now don't be worried just because it's a Hendrix song. We're going to bring it down to a beginner's guitar level, and with a little work I know that you can get it. Now Jimi always tuned down to E flat, which means you would drop each of your strings 1/2 step, but for this lesson we'll be staying in standard tuning. So grab your guitar, get tuned up, and let's get to business. This chord progression can basically be broken down into two parts, which we'll call part A and part B. I'll go ahead and show it to you written out now. You may want to pause the video in order to write this down for future reference. Okay, let's go ahead and take a peek at part A, and then we'll break it down. Alright, well now that you got the progression in your ears, let's go ahead and see if we can get it under your fingers. I'll show you the chords and explain them to you briefly, but if you have any trouble, you may want to check out another website like chordfind.com until you get them figured out a little better. Our first chord is an E minor, which spelled out is open, 2-2, open, open, open. I like to use my middle and ring finger, and you can think of it as making like the rock-on symbol. The next is G major, spelled out. We have 3, 2, open, 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 3. Then we have A minor. On this chord, you only want to play the 5 bottom strings. You don't want to let that low E ring out. Now I usually bring my thumb over the top and gently rest against the string to mute it, but if you go thumb behind, you just have to focus on not picking it with your right hand. Spelled out, it's mute, open, 2, 2, 1, open. And then to end phrase A, part A of this, you're going to go back to that E minor chord. Now the strum pattern on most of this song is going to be like this. I'm muting with my left hand right here just so we can focus on our right hand pattern. If you can't get that figured out at first, use all downstrokes or just an alternating down and up stroke until you can get the pattern figured out a little better, okay? Alright, now let's take a peek at part B of the phrase, and then we'll start breaking it down as well. Okay, now let's break down part B of the progression. The first chord is a B minor, which is your first of 2 bar chords in the song. It's a little more difficult than the open chords, but stick with it and you can get it. You only want to play the bottom 5 strings, so when I make this chord, I use my first finger to rest up against the 6th string, just touching it lightly so it's muted. Spelled out, we're going to have 2, 4, 4, 3, 2. And the way you want to make it is your first finger barring across. It'll be hitting the 5th and 1st string. Then take your ring and pinky down, and then go ahead and drop your middle finger down to the 3rd fret of the B string. To check it, you want to pick each string individually and make sure they're all ringing. And your goal here is just a nice clean chord. Now for these next chords, they're all going to get about 2 beats apiece or 2 downstrokes. It moves a little quicker, but start slowly and build your way up. We got an A minor, which you should remember, up to a C. The only difference in these 2 chords is you're going to take your ring finger and just move it up to the 3rd fret of the 5th string here, and you're going to use it to rest sloppily against that 6th string to mute it as well. To a G, to an F, which is our 2nd bar chord. It's a little tougher, but you can still do it. We're going to use our first finger to bar across at the 1st fret, all 6 strings. but really you're just going to be hitting the 6th, 1st, and 2nd. Take your ring and pinky finger to the 3rd fret on the next 2 strings, and your middle finger goes to the 2nd fret of the G string. Again, arpeggiate it, pick out each string to make sure they're ringing. And if you have any problems, you may just want to push a little harder. If you cannot get this chord, you can find a shortened version of it like this, which is spelled out, muted, muted, and then 3, 2, 1, 1. In this case, you're using your first finger to bar across again, but only 2 strings as opposed to all 6. After our F, we move back to a C, to a D. And at the D, we go back to strumming. On a D chord, you're only going to be playing the bottom 4 strings, and it'll be open 2, 3, 2. Now, you can either just focus on how your pick is moving and make sure you don't strike the extra strings, or I bring my thumb over the top to gently touch the 5th and 6th string to mute them. Well, now that we've learned the progression, let's see if we can't learn some lead licks to go over it. We're going to be using the E minor pentatonic scale, box patterns number 1 and 2. Let's check them out. It's open 3, open 2, open 2, open 2, open 3, open 3. Again. Now the part of box pattern number 2 I want to show you is we'll be using the E, B, and G string. On the E and B it'll be 5 and 3, and then 4, 2, and open on the G string. And then you can use the rest of box pattern number 1 that you know. Now you can put these strings, these notes in any order that you'd like. They should all fit, but some key licks we're going to be looking at are as follows. Number 1, a very famous lick, we'll be holding down 5 on the B string and then down to 3. Then 4 on the G to 3 on the B, 4 on the G. Again. Be sure to add some vibrato. Some other licks you might want to think about are sliding from 2 to 4 on the G string. And even some nice big bends on the high E string at the 5th fret. You want to bend with your ring finger, but put your middle and first finger behind for extra power. Take some of the licks of mine that you like and mix them with your own for your own solo. Well, that's a beginner's guitar guide to the song Little Wing by Jimi Hendrix. As you progress, you may want to move some of your open position chords to bar chords, and you may want to learn some of the other box patterns for the E minor pentatonic scale, which you can find online. I'm going to leave you with a short solo that I wrote using only the notes and techniques that I showed you today, and don't forget to email me for this backing track. You find out more in the information over here. As always, keep your guitar handy, keep it tuned, and keep rocking. My name is Shane. I'll see you back here soon.